And welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about coping with overcrowding in California's emergency rooms. My guest this segment is Ted Lieu, a member of the state Senate from Torrance. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
So we've talked about overcrowding, and I think most people realize there's a lot of overcrowding now in our emergency rooms, but this situation is only going to get worse because California has dramatically expanded Medi-Cal, for example.
Right.
Right?
So California right now has the worst emergency room capacity of any state in America in terms of capacity to people. And you're right, the problem's going to get worse because with the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, more people will access emergency rooms. That's what studies have shown.
Mm-hmm. So what would you have hospitals do with this legislation that you propose?
So there are solutions to help reduce emergency room overcrowding. There is a national standard called the NEDOC score, and every 4 hours the hospital will evaluate a bunch of different factors, and if the emergency room is overcrowded, then they will take steps to try to relieve the overcrowding by moving people to different floors who are already stabilized so they don't take up space. Mm-hmm. And hospitals that implemented this scoring system have drastically reduced their emergency room wait times.
And that's a very fluid situation. I mean, all of a sudden at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday night or something, you got a flood of patients coming in. You have to make sort of an instantaneous decision, right?
Right. So one of the reasons that this solution works is it causes a hospital to actually plan ahead, to know that, whoa, we might have to have some staff on hand in case we do have such an explosion of people come in, and then we call them in. Or we might have extra rooms in different levels of the hospital so we can move people up. And the problem is a lot of hospitals don't plan ahead that way. Hospitals that have voluntarily implemented this program, such as LA County USC Hospital and Little Company of Mary Hospital in my hometown Torrance, have seen their wait times reduce.
Now you proposed this legislation before.
I did. I had a bill 2 years ago to actually mandate this across California for all hospitals. Unfortunately, it was vetoed by the governor. So now I'm calling hospitals to do it voluntarily because the studies show that with more people getting health care coverage, emergency room use actually goes up, not down. And so we're going to have even more of a problem.
Yeah, the governor in his veto message said good intentions with this legislation, but too burdensome to have the emergency rooms calculate a crowding score every 4 or 8 hours.
And as the emergency room capacity gets worse, hospitals simply have to take these steps. And the ones that have done it, it has not been overburdensome. And I just want to note that the emergency room to me is a great equalizer. Whether you're a CEO or a homeless person, if you are in an emergency and you have to be diverted to another hospital 20 minutes away, your chance of death just increased.
Mandatory compliance probably would not fly, correct? I mean, it would be, some hospitals would see it as very burdensome.
Some might, but the ones that have implemented it have figured out that it's not that burdensome. And in fact, it drastically reduces the waiting times. And so really, to me, it's a life and death issue.
Have you surveyed hospitals to find out whether they would participate in this voluntary program?
So I actually just issued a release 2 weeks ago asking hospitals to voluntarily do this. And we're getting some hospitals writing in saying they are starting to do it.
They are?
Yes.
Voluntarily?
Correct, because they see the impending problem that's coming.
All right. So this legislation has just been introduced, so it's just
well,
starting?
We're going to see if the hospitals can do it voluntarily, and so we'll give them this year. And also with the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, they'll see that it's needed. All
right. Well, we're out of time now in this segment, but Senator Lieu, thank you very much for coming by and talking about this very important issue. We'll certainly watch the progress.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government On Demand. I'm Steve Swatt. We'll see you next time.